Welcome back to Mama's Talk Relationships. I'm Lisa Miller.
And I'm Alessandra Martinet.
Are you ready to dive into another episode about love, loss, and everything in between and after divorce?
I am so ready.
Ooh, talk to me about what we're going to discuss today.
Today, we are talking about staying for the kids. But before we start, we have a couple of exciting things to share with you guys. Lisa, why don't you go first?
Would love to. Thank you. So, if you guys are loving what you're hearing and you want more support, guidance, just want to talk about it and do some healing, please reach out. You can reach me at lisamiller.coach on Instagram. I have one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, something for everyone. You are not in this alone. So please reach out. Let Alessandra, what do you got going on?
Well, I just launched my solo trip with Flashback. I've always wanted to take a trip by myself, and I thought, what could be better than partnering with Flashpack and going along with mamas that need a getaway or mamas that have gone through divorce and all that. So we are going to Belize in March of 2025, and I am so excited about this trip.
That sounds amazing. You guys, if you are wanting to be around like-minded women, if you have gone through divorce, if you're thinking about divorce, if you're in the middle of your divorce, this is the trip for you. It sounds unbelievable. I'm so jealous. I'm thinking about going myself.
It would be so much fun if you could come. And you can find the information in my link in bio at Mama's Guide to Divorce. Please consider leaving us a review and subscribing wherever you listen to us.
Yeah, let's
So,
do it.
what's your thought? For me, I think it's never a good idea to stay just for the kids.
I 100% agree. But let's dive in a little bit about this. So, a lot of my clients come to me in the should I say, should I go place. They are wanting clarity. When we dig into it a little bit deeper, it goes a little bit more to the I don't want to blow my family up for my kids. I don't want to hurt my kids. I don't want to destroy their lives. If we get divorced, they're going to turn into these evil, horrible little humans, and divorce is going to really F them up. So, first and foremost,
No, it
go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that the emotional impact of staying in an unhealthy, toxic marriage can be worse than a divorce
Well, it
because
is
they are
work.
constantly exposed to the negativity and stress and anxiety, and it's just not a good environment for them.
There are so many studies and so much research done that children are better off in two happy homes than one unhappy home. Reason being is kids internalize what is going on in their experience and they make it kids are actually like very selfish little people, right? That's just like what they do.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
what they do.
Wait till they're teenagers. Oh my gosh.
Right? But so they internalize it like they're doing something wrong. They're the reason why mommy and daddy are arguing all the time. So they're walking around this world with this mindset of like, I'm bad because my mom and dad aren't happy. That's kind of what like is happening internally within a child in a really unhappy home. So if there's conflict, any kind of toxicity at all, staying for your children is not doing them any good.
No, it's not. And let's just talk about modeling unhealthy relationships. They're going to see a dysfunctional marriage as what they should accept in the future for their relationships. And that is just so bad for them.
Right. So think bigger picture because that's really hard for us all to do is like, oh, and by the way, so many of my clients come from divorced homes and they're like, I ended up in the exact same marriage as what my parents had. So I see this in real time all the time, you guys. So what basically happens is whatever we are shown as quote unquote love is what we turn out to think this is what a good relationship is, whether it is or it isn't. And so then you go
Yeah,
out into the world and you pick a partner that resembles that kind of behavior. So whatever you're modeling for
because
your
it feels normal for
yeah,
them, for us.
and that's just what you know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So you're like, oh, this is like the kind of relationship my parents had, so this is the kind of relationship I'm gonna have, not knowing that it was good or bad. It's just what you know.
Absolutely. And let's talk about how if you are in a high conflict marriage, it can be so scary for the kids and so traumatizing, and they're going to act out and they're going to have trouble in school. These are things that could happen if you stay in an unhealthy marriage. And I know divorce isn't like a magic wand and the kids are going to come out perfect after, right? You have to do the work with your kids and try to co-parent with your ex as best as possible if you want them to succeed
Well,
post-divorce.
let's be real. I mean, whether you're divorced or married, we're all doing the best we can. So even if you're
Absolutely.
the most happiest, healthiest married couple in the world, you're still messing up your kids in some way because nobody's perfect. Nobody has this like playbook on how to raise your kids perfectly. We're all doing the best we can. In divorce,
Absolutely, but yeah, but you have to make the effort when you get a divorce to try to let the kids feel secure. That's what I'm saying.
yes. But I think in divorce, what scares everyone is, oh my gosh, like because they have to go from one house to the next and be displaced, and it's so stressful, and they have to choose like whose house they want to be at more, and they feel like they're in the middle. That's what messes up your kids, not
Yeah,
the fact that mom and dad don't live together. It's when you put your kids in the middle, when they have to feel like they have to choose. Like, you guys have to remember, they love mom and dad the same. They don't
and
want
that's how it should
to.
be.
Yes, they don't want to have to choose. Don't make your kids choose. What really messes kids up is when you start talking badly about the other parent.
Mhm.
They love that person because it's their mom or their dad, and that's the way it should be.
Absolutely. It should be, and good, bad, whatever the situation is, and however you may feel about the person you're with, you need to be respectful because the kids need to make a decision on their own and see things in their own light, and they will. The truth always comes out. I really believe that.
Oh, your kids are so perceptive, and they will pick up on it, and they will see who that other parent is. You don't need to do anything, right? And
Absolutely.
they're gonna have their own relationship with that other parent, and they should. And like that's their journey, and that's part of their life and like their life's work, right? All you
Yeah,
can do is control you and show up as the best parent possible, the best mom, the best dad, the best influence on them, and have the best relationship with them, and keep them not in the middle of the emotional baggage and bullshit that's going on between you and your now ex.
and even if you think staying is good, the kids are still gonna feel a sense of like, they're gonna feel divided between the parents if they're in an unhealthy home fighting.
Yes,
They're gonna still feel it.
they're gonna still feel it, and they still know what's going on. And I think a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, I have to stay for my kids because I'm so worried that this is going to destroy them," I truly believe like we have a lot of control over that. So if that is what your fear is, lean into that a little bit and be like, how can I make sure that it doesn't destroy them? Because that's a choice. It's a choice to put them in the middle. It's a choice to talk badly about the other person. And we can actually make this the most graceful divorce. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. We can show them healthy conflict. We can
Yeah,
show.
but you have to show them. You
Yeah,
have to, like, put in the work and set your feelings aside for your ex and the
yeah,
whole situation for your kids, and
yes.
that's what I did,
And there's the other
100%.
there's the other side of it where now you actually can show them healthy love. You can enter into a new relationship, and they can see what it's like for mom to be treated really well, with respect, with love, with loyalty, or dad, right? And these are things that kids need to see and feel and experience, so that when they're ready to have their own relationship, they're like, oh, like this is what a good relationship looks like. If you're not
Mhm.
happy, they're going to end up in an unhappy marriage. I say this all the time. Like, you
Yeah.
if you are okay with your kid getting into the same relationship that you have right now, then stay. If you are not, it is time to look in the mirror and say, shoot, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I thought my life was going to be, but maybe this is the best choice for me and my children. And think
Mhm.
big picture. Think, how is this going to affect my kids long term?
I think you have to, like, prioritize a healthy environment for the kids,
Hmm.
regardless, whether it means working on your marriage, if that's what you really wanna do, it may be possible. I don't know whoever's listening to this, what their situation is, or it is leaving the marriage and making them the priority and putting them at the forefront of everything,
Yeah, I love that.
right?
Making sure you're in a healthy environment is more important than mom and dad staying married. If mom and dad staying married means it's a healthy environment, amazing. But if
Amazing.
not, then staying for your children is an excuse.
Absolutely, but I think and I was saying this earlier, I think initially when I found out I was getting a divorce, I automatically wanted to make it work because I thought it was gonna be the best thing for the kids,
Sure.
right? I didn't want them to lose that sense of family. I was afraid that they were gonna be the only divorced kids at school. I was afraid of the stigma of divorce and how people were gonna see me and my kids, and I promise anyone it's those fears are normal, but the kids are gonna be okay, and you're gonna be okay if you decide to walk away.
Yes. And I'm gonna just flip it for a second. If you're the one who's actually deciding, like, oh, I'm not happy, and maybe there
Mhm.
was a reason, maybe it was just you fell out of love with your partner, and the reason you're staying is like because you feel selfish. Your kids also will feel that. Just
Yeah.
so we're clear. Like you not being in a really good, healthy relationship, your kids' energy doesn't lie, y'all. So like
No, it doesn't.
your kids will feel like, oh, like mom's not really present, or they won't use those words, but they'll feel that something's off, right?
No, they will because if you stay in something unhealthy, you start to be consumed by your marital issues, and
Hmm.
then you withdraw, and you could become emotionally unavailable and neglectful towards the kids,
Hmm.
and that could be 10 times worse for them,
And they can end up with a partner like that.
or they could become that.
Yeah, or they could become that exactly as a survival mechanism.
Yeah, because they're gonna say, "Okay, I'm just gonna move past this and try to protect themselves and be in their own world, I guess," and it could very well happen to them.
Yeah, well, they have like this like false sense of normalcy,
Yeah, and
and
that you don't want that for them.
right, you guys want your kids to be happy, healthy, thriving adults. I know, and all of our listeners, that's what you guys want. That's what we want, and we have to give them the best chance of getting that. And sometimes that's making really hard decisions and really hard choices that maybe we never thought we would ever have to make. I know I never thought I would be the one to be like, I'm getting divorced. Like that, I didn't think those words would ever come out of my mouth.
No, it was so hard. It was so hard to have to come to terms with it, but the kids are gonna be okay.
I mean,
Just put them at the forefront of everything. That's
right. I
what
mean,
I
my
say.
are so good. Alessandra kids are so good. We've both been divorced a long time. And what we did was we made sure to have really happy homes for our children,
Yeah,
regardless. Mom and dad were both in the happy home. And our exes did the same. And we co-parent really nicely. And by the way, even if you don't co-parent nicely with your ex, maybe you parallel parent, you can still raise a really happy, thriving child. Studies also show that they really just need one happy home. They need one solid parent. So that might be you, and that's
yeah.
beautiful.
On that note, we are ending another episode of Mama's Talk Relationships. As always, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll be back next week with another insightful, informative, and hopefully entertaining episode on navigating dating and relationships after divorce.